Kim Kardashian has left Paris on a private jet after being tied up and robbed at gunpoint of $10 million worth of jewelry. This happened early Monday morning. There were 5 men in ski masks and police jackets who were involved in the robbery, but 2 men entered her room at No Address Hotel, bound Kardashian's hands and feet with tape, then locked her in the bathroom before stealing a jewelry box worth $6.7 million in jewelry and a ring worth $4 million. Police sources indicated that to La Parisien. Her purse had 2 cell phones in it, which was also stolen, 1,000 euros that were also taken. The 2 men were able to gain access to Kardashian's private apartment after 5 men threatened the apartment building's concierge with a weapon, handcuffed him, and forced him to open the private apartment. This comes from the French Interior Ministry. And just to explain a little bit about how the lodging works, this is sort of a mansion, and in the mansion there are different units. So it's not just a hotel. It's for, Leonardo DiCaprio stayed there, Madonna stayed there. It's for very high-profile people. Kardashian was there for Paris Fashion Week. Her source says she is badly shaken but physically unharmed, and this caught the internet by storm after Kanye West left his concert in the middle of a song, Heartless.
I'm sorry, there's a family emergency. I have to stop the show. What?
A source says, due to a family emergency, Kanye West was forced to end his performance towards the end of the set. We appreciate the great show he put on for fans to close out the inaugural Meadows Festival. Our thoughts are with West and his family. So when this news broke, the internet really was abuzz with what was happening. And I should also note that the robbers are still at large. So this is an ongoing story. And I want to get your reaction. But before I get your reaction, let me tell you how Twitter reacted, because it varied a lot. So some people were saying that they were happy that this happened. Someone said on Twitter, Kim Kardashian robbed at gunpoint in Paris. Finally, some good news on a Monday. Another person said, bet the same people that robbed Kim Kardashian robbed Ryan Lochte. Some people think that it's just for publicity. And then James Corden and Chrissy Teigen spoke out, and I think that they did so in an eloquent way, so I want to highlight what they said on Twitter. James Corden says, people making jokes about Kim Kardashian tonight would do well to remember that she's a mother, a daughter, a wife, a friend. Be nice or shut up. And then Chrissy Teigen really rounded this out for me. She says, fame is interesting. Celebs are supposed to love you guys while also knowing you'd make a meme of our dead bodies to get retweets.
Man, that really...
So bearing that in mind, Anna, I know you have been on the receiving end of a lot of, hate online. Did you identify with this story?
Yeah,
and how
I
it was
did.
picked up.
I did. And look, not to the extent, I'm not obviously as big, even close to as big as she is. I'm not anywhere near as wealthy as she is. So I don't get the same amount of hatred that she deals with on a daily basis. But I am now in a point in my career where this show doesn't have a small audience. It has a lot of exposure. And so with that comes a lot of negativity. And bad things will happen to me and people will celebrate it, right? Good things will happen to me and people will try to destroy it. And so seeing her go through something like that and seeing people celebrate it really makes me sick to my stomach. She's a person at the end of the day, and she was put in a dangerous situation where she could have been physically harmed. She had, her possessions stolen. I don't care if you don't have sympathy for her because she's wealthy. That's beside the point. She's still a person. You should never be in favor of, terrible things happening to other people. And this is a terrible thing that happened to her. And honestly, my heart goes out to her because I would be beyond shaken. And to not only deal with that traumatizing situation, but also having to deal with all of the ignorant assholes online must be one of the most terrible things imaginable.
Well, yeah, the people online are, it's like, first of all, they're hiding behind their whatever their Twitter name is, whatever, and people say hateful things. And I agree with you. When we killed bin Laden and people were celebrating, I always feel weird celebrating some sort of misfortune that, the death of somebody, or in this case, the robbery of Kim Kardashian. I'm not a fan of the Kardashians at all. The one thing that is interesting to me is, I don't follow the show that much, but for a second, it does go in your mind of was this some kind of a stunt because of what it is?
I'm going to be honest. So the story broke yesterday and there were very few details. And when I first read it, I was like, yeah, right. Because the Kardashians are always with a gigantic posse.
Yeah.
They always have so much security with them. They're probably the safest people in America, right? But I mean, given how everything went down, how they posed as police officials, how they threatened the worker with weapons, it all kind of makes sense now, and I'm more inclined to believe, what occurred. I don't think this was a publicity stunt.
No,
I genuinely think that this happened, and I don't wish anything dangerous or terrible upon anyone, regardless of how much I disagree with them, regardless of how much I hate them. I despise Donald Trump, despise him. I wouldn't want this to happen to Donald Trump, okay?
Yeah.
We're humans at the end of the day. We have our disagreements. We might dislike each other because of our beliefs or the way we live our lives, but it doesn't matter. You should never celebrate, someone being put in a situation like that.
And to me, this also seems like it was a perfect storm of events. Her security detail was with Kendall that night, and we don't know if maybe he was given the night off. Kim said that she was turning in earlier than her sisters, and this again is where many high-profile people have stayed. This facility, or it's sort of a mansion and their little apartments in there. So some people were calling out the security detail, saying that just a week prior, when she had been assaulted on the red carpet by some guy trying to pull a prank on her and kiss her ass, literally, she had said how great her security was, and now it's like, where was your security now? I don't think that that comes into play here. I also think that it was gross how people were shaming Kanye West when he left the concert. People were saying, oh, fuck this guy. He doesn't care about his fans. Oh, I bet it's a family emergency. And then the story broke about Kim Kardashian. And I hope all those people really ate their words, because that's how I heard about the story. I heard about it trending on, I think, Reddit, and people were saying that he left a concert early and what a dick he was, and more ego from Kanye West. And I just feel like I'm not a big fan of the Kardashians. I'm not a big fan of, I don't really watch their show. I don't know. I'm sure they're nice people. It's just not really my cup of tea. But you have to, in situations like this, you have to give people the benefit of the doubt a little. Why would they need more publicity? Why would they make this up? Why would this be a stunt?
I cannot emphasize enough how terrible fame really is, right? And look, they seem to like fame, so that's them. But I can just say from personal experience that it's not a good thing. It's a terrible thing, right? People are cruel, people are terrible. And this year, with the exposure that TYT has gotten, has made me realize, I feel like I've lost a lot of my innocence this year, right? Because I've now seen like the ugliest side of humanity. And it's made me super jaded, okay? So fame's not great. I don't want everyone to know me. I want to do my job. I want to be good at my job. I want to make decent money and a decent living doing it. But I don't want to be put in a situation where everyone is nitpicking your every freaking move as if they're perfect, as if they're, these untouchable, amazing people that do everything right in their lives. You know what you're already doing wrong in your life? Going after someone that you don't know and attacking them after they went through something terrible and traumatic.
Listen, the problem is, someone who's in the public eye needs some level of fame to do what they do, because you want people to watch you.
That's right.
But we live in this era now. It used to be these people have always been around, but they used to have to actually take their time to go and write a letter, mail it to you, wait 2 weeks to see if you're going to send a letter back. You know what I'm saying? These people have always been out there. Now it's so easy. So I've learned with a lot of stuff, whatever level of fame you're on, even if you're not famous, people come after you online. So I've learned to just go, you know what? I'm going to ignore these people. And I'm sure that Kim, hopefully, I'm guessing, is not reading these things. And it's like, you go, who are these people? Sometimes it's some kid somewhere, who knows, or somebody who just doesn't agree with you, hates you. That's their problem. They have issues. They're not dealing with their issues. When I hear about this, like I stay at hotels and I'll put put the money in the safe, and I'm always like, do not disturb sign, and I'm always very careful. There's $10 million worth of stuff in the place, and the fact that there wasn't like some sort of police. You would think that a place like this, DiCaprio and all these people are staying, you would think they would have. They said they had one concierge. It does remind me again of a little bit of like, where is the security? Like,
well, it is, as they said, it's not listed. There's no address for it. So I think it just says like no address hotel. It's this unlisted thing. No one really knows where it is. Aside from people that live in the area. So I think that they thought because of the anonymity that maybe it's safer. I'm not really sure. It just seems like a perfect storm of events where the security was out doing, being with other wildly famous Kardashians.
But that's their security who's with them. But you would think the hotel would be like, hey, we got these people staying here.
And the fact that the robbers are still at large.
Yeah, that really scares me. I just think that we're living in this day and age where we're used to people oversharing, and public figures want to connect with their fans and they want to engage with them. So they'll share very intimate details about their lives, where they're vacationing, when they're going to be gone.
Here's my $6 million necklace.
Yeah, here's how successful I am, here's how wealthy I am, and you become a target. And I hate to say it, but for anyone who's in the limelight or the public eye, there's a moment where you have to decide, you know what? I don't need to share so much about my life. And by the way, I'm not blaming her for what happened, but I do think that it's important to protect yourself and to not share so much of yourself with your fans. It's just.
But their life depends on that. That's what they do.
I know.
That's their brand.
It's messed up.
And these guys must have known what they were doing, because again, if I'm with a bunch of robbers and they go, let's go hit the Kardashians, I'd be like, yo, haven't you watched the show? They're surrounded by security all the time.
Yeah.
But these guys kind of knew that that there was no security at that place, and if they dress up as these cops, they can go in there and do their thing.
I wonder if there was.
Inside job?
Yeah, if someone no, not inside. Like I don't think anyone from her family.
Not from
did
her
it,
family, but someone at the
someone
hotel
tipped them
yeah.
off. Maybe
Very
I don't
possible.
know. But
It'll be interesting to see what developments come out about how this was pulled off, because for five guys to rob perhaps the most famous woman in the world, it's no small task.
Yeah.
So we'll see what details come out about how this went down.
If you're upset with mainstream media, we have the alternative for you. Come build independent media with us. Your membership powers the Young Turks. TYTnetwork.com/join.